Hi guys, I wanted to show you my final project for Noobwars, Baba Yaga's dancing hut. I made it for my Curse of Strahd campaign. I know it calls for it to be a crawling hut with like tree legs in the book, but I feel like that's kind of a cop-out. They just need to make the dancing hut. So I found a way that I could make it both a miniature and terrain, and where you can swap it out to be, hopefully at a later date, 2.5D. I've also incorporated my different twists from the judges. Needed to include a witch theme. In this case, Baba Yaga, a witch, she's in there. I also made my flashing cauldron, as you can see. Then I also need to include a horror element, which I feel like I have, kind of as an overall look to the house. Looks like a haunted shack. And then an advertisement, and as you can see over here, I have an advertisement for Dream Pies mounted on a little base here. And if you've read the new Curse of Strahd module, you know all about Morgantha and her dream pies, and I wanted to make like a creepy 1950s looking kind of messed up sign as a billboard and try to still make it fit in the setting. Yeah, so there's that. Just popsicle sticks and hot glue and flocking and little paint. So the idea is that the characters approach the house and the house can see them using its eye, which is actually the lens from an old pair of novelty sunglasses that were broken that I attached to the house. And once the house sees them or is alerted in any way, then the legs will burst from the ground and the chicken legs will come up and the house will begin to move and attack. I mounted 4 magnets onto the top of the chicken, and then 4 magnets to the bottom of the house, so that I can easily convert it from a piece of terrain to now a movable miniature, as you can see. So the other element I was supposed to incorporate was a steampunk element, which you can see here. I've included some gears around the eye to make it look like it's both magical and has kind of a mechanical element as well. Then I have my little wood-burned runes around the doorways and the broken down windows. These are just skinny sticks on foam core, with a foam core door and hot glue piped rocks. And then I have the chicken legs, which are a combination of wood dowel structure, a lot of tinfoil to kind of bulk it out, and then pink insulation foam, a lot of paper mache and flocking, and some feathers from a flower arrangement that I tore up. The other element that I really wanted to make an ad for the steampunk was the chicken itself. And as you can see, I'm going to turn around to the back of the chicken. Hopefully you can see it, even with the tail feathers in the way. But the chicken has kind of like springs and a joint here, and he's riveted together. Then he's got his copper legs running all the way down to being jointed here as well. I molded first 1 foot out of Sculpey, and then I made a mold of it, and I cast the other foot in hot glue because I wasn't really confident I'd be able to sculpt 2 of the same thing. And then I put this kind of foundation so I'd have something to actually stick it to, and then I want to make it look like it literally came up out of the earth. So as you can see, I've got kind of lots of dirt texture and roots and all kinds of gross things happening there. And then if you can see, for the roof is teddy bear fur that I cut in 3 rows, and then used my scissors, really texturized it, and then I took Elmer's glue, ran it through it really roughly with a comb, and then kind of shaped it to where it looked more clumpy like straw. And then I dry brushed it. The fur was originally brown, then I dry brushed it with a straw color. And then I put some moss on here to kind of make it look like it was old and gross, and quite a few different pipes and, let's take Baba Yaga off, nails and different pieces to kind of make it look like it has more of that steampunk element. Chimney's just insulation foam. There's actually, you can hear my dog grumbling in the background. I'm sorry. He's been out like 30 times, but he still wants to go pee some more. There's actually like plastic in the windows and the grating, not a grail, grating. And then the different shutters and everything. And I don't know if you can see it, but there's also the detailing of the runes and things across the top. And I never really see a lot of the huts with tails, but I kind of felt like if it's got this much going on back here, it needed a big giant tail to balance it out. And then of course, whoops, a porch and front door, so the characters actually have a place to stand. Now, my hope is one of these days, I am going to make a 2.5D tile so that once they actually break into the hut, then it'll just be a matter of popping off this part and then popping on another 2.5D tile that's very playable, so you have a miniature that also doubles as terrain on the top. And I kind of want to do like a TARDIS type thing, like in the original old Baba Yaga's dancing hut, where it's literally like a mansion inside. Maybe I won't get that big and crazy, but it would be kind of fun to do something where it's much bigger than what they think on the inside. Because I think in the book it's like a 4x4 square or something really ridiculous like that. It's just like, here's a bed and a baby crib. Ooh, bloody bathtub. I'm like, well, how does she walk? Apparently witches don't need to walk. They don't need floor space. Then the other thing that I have, I'm really proud of this one, is my cauldron. And I don't know if you can kind of focus on that because it is going. This was super cheap to make. I'm going to turn it off so you can kind of see. So I have the guts of a tea light in there. You can get these at the Dollar Tree right now. They either have them as butterflies or spiders, and the actual mechanism of it pops out really easily with just undoing a screw. And then I just put it in some, I used a CD as a guide and cut out some cardstock, and then let it poke through, and then left myself access to the battery and the switch so I can change it out if I need to. The cauldron itself is half a ping pong ball that I cut in half, and then I textured with hot glue, and I put some earring like loops on the sides to give it handles. And then the sticks are left over from making my trees. They're literally just sticks from outside. I broke them up around the bottom. I wanted to be able to still see the light underneath when you turned it on, so I left gaps so you could get that neat effect from below as well. And then I used a lot of really chunky pieces of like dirt and gravel so that it would look like ash and soot had accumulated there, some fake plants, and then a cut up cheap plastic skeleton that's kind of army man scale, dry brush. The head looked really goofy, so I just didn't include it. And as for what's inside, this is the best part. These are hot glue dribbles. So if you've got a hot glue gun like mine that constantly wastes hot glue and makes those little beads of hot glue, I threw them in there, and then I put some, mixed some golden gel in the soft, soft golden gel in with a little bit of neon green paint, just a little bitty bit, and a whole lot of really fine textured white glitter. I thought it'd make it sparkly. It didn't really, but it made it kind of like a frothy, gross texture. It's really dry to the touch. And it dried mostly clear with a tint to it, so it looks like it has gross bubbles and like slime, but it really lights up well. And that's that. I'm really pleased with this, and it cost me, you know, $1 and a ping pong ball and some sticks. So, you know, and my glue that I was throwing away because it was coming out of my gun anyway. And that is about that. Revel in all of the chickeny glory. I can't wait to show my players. And I wanted to say thank y'all all so much. This was really fun. It was really great to get to know all the other people who were competing, as well as get pushed into doing something, because I'm pretty notoriously lazy. So I never would have guessed that I went from making my little flat prison tile to making this. So thank you very much.